Hey everybody, I promised that I would share later this week a document with you that gave insight into how we applied those growth zone strategies that were shared in the Keller article. And this relates perfectly to McIntosh's work as well with his organizational growth concepts. And so the idea is that we take these abstract principles of organizational growth, that there are certain things that have to evolve and change if the church or the organization is going to continue to grow. If we don't change some of those organizational principles, we will cap our own growth. We become a lid to our own organization. So this was an example, like I said, from 2016, where we honed in on three of those growth zones in particular. The idea of multiplying options, the idea of shifting decision making, and assessing personnel and leadership. And so what you'll see in this chart, if you open it up, and again, it's not lengthy reading, it's just to give you a practical idea of how this can fit into a local church context. But basically, we defined, okay, what's the practical application for what needs to change in that growth zone? So for instance, shifting decision making for us was about reworking some of our bylaws so that it changed the way that we elected members of our governing council or board of elders, and shifting the way that some of those decisions are made, clearly defining what are the things that require the whole congregation to vote on, and what are things that that governing body, that board of elders, can elect to do without the whole congregational consensus. Things like that that needed to change and evolve since our church was growing. In the idea of multiplying options, for us, that was multiplying small group options and actually redefining the way that we did our Sunday school ministry. And so we wanted that to begin to operate more intentionally like small groups. And so there were factors that had to come together. So these are charts that we put together. So after saying this is the practical application step that needs to happen, so then what are the action steps that have to come into play in order for that to be achieved? So that's what this chart is. You can see it has what the goal is, and then it breaks that goal down into specific action steps. It tells who owns each action step, and it offers a timeline of when we wanted to see that particular piece of the puzzle come together, so that by the end of 2016 we would be at a different place than when we started it. And that went really well, and we're in the middle of 2017 applications right now. So just to share this with you, hope it comes in handy for you and just gives you an idea of how some of this stuff actually applies to leadership in the local context. God bless.